Hello and welcome back to Cars and Coffee. Now it is September, so you're not expecting too much, but we start off with Germany, and that theory was quickly dismissed as there was a C63 AMG in black, not the black, but an AMG in black. Then we have a very blue BMW M3. There were a lot of cars for September. And there were a few Germans, not too many though. There was this old M Division car, which is very neat. But all in all, there were certain manufacturers, certain countries that were lacking compared to others. And I must say I love the 850 here, the 850i, V12, come on, don't see those too often. There was also a 2002 Turbo, there was one, there's usually a few, but I'll take a 2002. There were a few Porsches, not very many of note. There was a Carrera and the GT2 RS, which is always nice to see. But we move it on to the Italians, and I must say, I'm disappointed in the Italians. They had a few Ferraris like this 512 Testarossa, but there weren't very many. I was very disappointed in their lack of attendance. There was the Alpha Spider. We've seen this one a few times before. I'm amazed it made it here, but regardless, it's very cool to see that. And a Fiat 124 Coupe, which I love to see. I'd never seen one of these before, but that's very nice to see a 124 Coupe. Didn't even know it existed. Anyway, back to the British with the Mini Moke in bright red this time, seen in 3 different colors now. Blue, yellow, and red. Got all the primary colors, which is nice to see. The Brits were in full attendance with a bunch of classic roadsters. You have a lot of old MGs. There was like proper 1930s with the goggles. I love the goggles. There was a Triumph, another TR6. See a few of those now. Nice to see a Triumph TR6. There was also an MG hardtop. And it also has a headlight in the front grille. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. But, it's there. They found a place. British Mini Cooper. Icon of all classic Mini Cooper. I love it. But it's not just classic 60s cars as well. There was also an 80s and modern supercars like many Loti, including the Esprit Turbo and the Elise here. The Aston Martins were in full attendance in all full beauty. And Noble had not one but 2 M400s. So, you know, because what's better than one? 2 of them. The crazy track toys. But speaking of crazy track toys, the Ariel Atom. But this is a custom Ariel Atom. It's not the 500, it's not the normal one. It has a massive wing and an even massiver 600 horsepower according to the guy who built it. Engine in it. That sounds terrifying in an Atom, with that being the windshield. The Atom V8 has 475 horsepower. 600 horsepower must be mental! But there you go. Nice to see that. The Americans, as you can expect, there were a fair few of them. These are some more of the noteworthy ones. You have the pre-war, the hot rods, if you will. And then we have plenty of muscle cars. This is not a muscle car, though. This is a Bricklin, which looks beautiful in Shelby stripes, I might add. But this is muscle cars. A a Plymouth Valiant with Barracuda option. It's like the predecessor of the Plymouth Barracuda. Very cool to see that. AMC AMX was also an oddball muscle car people generally leave out. The Viper, there were a few Vipers there. And there were a lot of GTs. That was my favorite of the bunch with the iconic racing stripes. And the Chevy Corvette that's neon blue with black and massive rear exhausts. Yeah. There was also 2 wheelless Jeeps in attendance. Here you got a picture of one of them right here. There was a Cyclone, fastest pickup truck in the world, fastest SUV in the world at the time. There was an Edsel, massive failure for Ford, but this is the Ute version, which is very cool to see, even if it was a massive failure. This was not a failure for Ford, though. Many Thunderbirds, my favorite of the Woodward cruise cars, if you will. I think they look to die for. The 60s Thunderbirds, my favorite generation by far. Opposite end of the spectrum, a Mustang IMSA Racer from GT4. Not bad to see one of those. Another opposite side of the spectrum, but equally as green. The Mustang, I think it's a 68 here. And then there's this one. It's a gold Celine. Apparently it's one of one in the world. It's the only gold Celine with a manual transmission on the planet from the factory. It's pretty rare. Yeah. But if you were a JDM fan, you were properly rewarded, because this is what that show was all about. Lots of JDM cars. There were Evos, S2000s, Mazda Speeds, you name it, it had it. there was so much Japanese cars here. There was a rally spec GT86, that's the entire Toyota triplets, FRS, BRZ, etc. A few Lexuses as well, Lexuses, I don't know. Including a 2JZ swapped one as well. Honda NSX designed by Ayrton Senna. Well, tuned by him, but whatever. Lots of Japanese cars. Lots of modified as well. Time Attack style Impreza 08. As well as this thing. It's many wings, many vents, and yes, the rear wing is a sight to behold. It has the roof-mounted scaffolding and the trunk-mounted scaffolding. It's mental. I love the car. Some more oddballs from Japan. We have a Datsun Estate, which is awesome. We have a Nissan Safari right-hand drive in epicness. Toyota Land Cruiser, much more reliable than Hammond's, although it's the same generation. And the indestructible Hilux. This is a dually version, though. That was epic to see. Never seen a Hilux before. JDM fans again rejoice. Nissan 240, I think, at 180. The point is, plenty of epic Nissans. And if you were a fan of 1980s cars, you were in for a treat, because there was a Mazda RX-7 with a rotary engine, parked right next to a Toyota Supra Mark III. It does not get more 80s JDM than that, amigos. But speaking of Supras, there were two, pretty much with a few aftermarket parts, but not too many, bone stock Mark IV Supras. These things are crazy rare in stock form. I love seeing them. And then there was that one guy who took it a little far. Yeah, the turbocharger and the big wheels might give it away that it's a crazy powerful drag car. Probably makes at least 900 horsepower. Favorite car in the show? One of them anyway. The KE Cup car. We saw it at Woodward last month, but that's just beautiful. It's so odd. It's right-hand drive. Not as odd as this, though. The AutoZam AZ1. We've seen a few of these nowadays at Concourse and at Cars and Coffee prior, but it's a little Japanese sports car. This mid-engine and gull-wing doors. I love it. Best paint job of the show award definitely goes to this Pontiac Solstice right here. I think it looks brilliant. I don't know what this is. This is like the oddball section, if you will, but I love it. It's a Beetle mixed with a sports car mixed with I don't even know what it is. Again, we have a Honda Civic, I think, but it's got a wing mounted in the middle of the roof for reasons unknown to science. And this would have been the best car in show, the Peugeot 405 Estate. I think that's the last Peugeot sold in America. There you go. But Volvo stepped it up massively with a 240 diesel with a wide track with an exoskeleton on the rear. It's a rock crawler. It's mental. And it's my favorite car in show. It was an absolute blast this day. And thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more.